Hello students, this is SriRam. I welcome you back to my new video session. So this particular video session is regarding human reproduction. It's a very important chapter in your 12th standard. So what is reproduction? Reproduction is a natural process of continuation of generation by the methods called asexual, sexual or vegetative methods. If you talk about human reproduction, it's a type of sexual reproduction where male and female are separate individuals, the fertilization is internal, and there is development of embryo inside the placenta via placental mammals, and then there is viviparous nature, that is human beings directly give birth to their young ones. So we are viviparous in nature. So basically, to start with the first part of this chapter called human reproduction, we can start with the basic things like, firstly, what is puberty? Puberty is nothing but, we can define it very simply. Puberty can be defined as the age of sexual maturity or the age of onset of sexual maturity. So particularly in males and in females, the age of sexual maturity is quite different. Usually sexual maturity in females is quite earlier compared to that of males. Okay, so the approximate age of maturity of males is generally 14 years of age, and in females it is 13 years of age. So already I have written it on the board, you can just go through it. Okay, so at the age of 13 and at the age of 14, male and female humans generally get sexually mature. What is important hormones for sexual maturity? I hope in your 11th standard, the 22nd chapter in biology teaches you about the hormones which are responsible for that. So in females, the hormones produced are progesterone, estrogen, FSH and LH. Four hormones are there. FSH, that is follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, third one is estrogen, and fourth is progesterone. These four hormones, they regulate the sexual behavior in females. When you talk about male reproductive system and the hormones related to it, FSH is common for both, that is follicle stimulating hormone, interstitial cell stimulating hormone and testosterone. There are three hormones responsible for the onset of sexual maturity in males. Primarily, gonadal hormones are responsible for that. That means in males, testosterone is important for sexual maturity. In females, estrogen and progesterone are responsible for sexual maturity. So in detail about this, we'll talk in separate topics in male reproductive system and in female reproductive system. So basically, if you start with the first part, that is male reproductive system. Male reproductive system general introduction I would like to give here today. So we can divide the reproductive system into external genitalia and inner system or internal organs. So external genitalia contains a sac which is partitioned into left and right called a scrotum or scrotal sacs, and one cylindrical organ called penis. This is external part of the genitalia. Then if you talk about the second part, that is internal organs, if you talk about, it contains one pair of testes, there are accessory ducts and accessory glands. So one by one we have to discuss it in detail. So in this video we'll continue with the first part, that is external genitalia we'll talk about, and then we'll go for the internal system with the help of a diagram in the next video. So if we talk about the scrotum, so scrotum generally is a extension of abdominal cavity through the inguinal canal. There is extension of a skin pouch. The skin generally consists of what you call as a layer of muscular tissue continuously called as the dartus tunic. So this dartus tunic extends with the help of the skin and forms a sac-like structure called scrotal sacs or scrotum. Now the scrotum is generally naturally divided into two parts, that is left and right part. So they are divided with the help of a structure called septum scroti. So the septum which divides the left and right part of the scrotal sacs is a septum scroti. And then the muscles which control the movement of the scrotal sac to regulate the temperature. So the scrotal sacs generally they can be somewhat extended from the what you call as inguinal canal, or somewhat what you call as constricted, and the testis can be near to the abdomen. So to bring the testis near the abdomen and to move the testis somewhat away from the abdomen, the muscles relaxation and contraction is very important. So this relaxation and contraction of muscles is controlled by these two sets of muscles called as dartus muscles and cremaster muscles. Okay, so dartus muscles and cremaster muscles are important for movement of scrotal sacs to maintain the temperature of testis. What is the function of scrotal sacs now? So in the abdominal cavity, generally testis develop during the embryonic stage, but before birth itself, the scrotal sacs, the testis descend into the scrotal sacs, because testis for the normal functions, they require around 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius less than the normal body temperature of a human male. So normal body temperature is approximately 37 degrees Celsius, and the temperature required for the testis to normal function is around 34.5 or 35 degrees Celsius. Okay, so between this range, the testis is functional. To maintain lower temperature than body temperature, testes are present inside the scrotal sacs, right? Now what you call as so they are also called as temperature regulators. So scrotal sacs are also called as temperature regulators. Generally externally they are covered with pubic hair, sweat glands, etc. That's common. Now coming to the next structure, that is called as penis. Now penis, if you talk about, generally it is a cylindrical organ. It's a cylindrical organ. Generally the external bulged end part, the tip of the penis, which is a bulged end part, is called as glans penis. And generally this glans penis is continuation of a tissue called as corpus spongiosum, and generally this glans penis is covered by a extended skin fold. This extended skin fold is called as prepuce or foreskin. Both are same, prepuce or foreskin. Now prepuce and foreskin, they generally cover up the surface of glans penis, and inside this, if you talk about the internal structure, there are three bands of tissues which are erectile tissues in penis. Okay, so to help the process of reproduction, there is erection of penis, and erection of penis is only possible because of the tissues present inside it, called as two bands of lateral corpora cavernosa and one what you call as ventral corpus spongiosum. The corpus spongiosum surrounds the urethra at the lower side of the penis and extends into glans penis, whereas corpora cavernosa, they are present in what you call as upper surface of the penis in two bands above the urethra. So generally the corpora cavernosa generally contains inflammatory structures. They have numerous vascular tissue, and vascularization is higher in them. So because of blood vessels are more, whenever there is a change in the pressure, there is a small cavernosal bodies. These cavernosal bodies inflate, and after inflation of them, the tissue becomes hard and erect. Okay, so the venous sinusoids are filled with the what I call as rush of blood, which causes inflation of the cavernosal bodies, which causes erection of the penis. Now this is a very important factor for your process of reproduction. Now whatever points I have mentioned it here, they are very essential for your entrance exams as well as for your theory understanding. So the words what I have written on the board, I have explained it very briefly here. One more thing you can add there. Externally, these all structures of tissues are covered with a connective tissue called as tunica albuginea. Tunica albuginea is the covering layer of a connective tissue present inside the penis. Okay, so here with this video we complete the first part of human reproduction, that is introduction part, and in that male reproductive system that we have completed here is external genitalia of male reproductive system. Now the next part is inner system or internal organ system. Now for this we have to draw a diagram and we have to explain it in a detailed manner. For that we'll have another video session. So I would like to stop this video here itself. Thank you.